pacifism and Christianity, are those two compatible? Now, I want to make a distinction here, and we're going to get into it. Lewis described the tension as pacifism versus patriotism. I think there's a new spirit of the age by comparison, or at least it's manifesting differently than it did in Lewis's day. With patriotism, let's replace that with globalistic monarchy, or the hegemon of the globalist. So as opposed to patriotism. And we're going to kind of parse that today, because I think it's really important. Can Christians ever certify a war? Should Christians stand up against war? Let's lay out a rubric for what does and doesn't make sense with the backdrop of the Iranian war. And I think you're going to be surprised by some of the opinions of folks on the panel today. We're also going to get into some early history of the United States during Nikki Knows Facts, song review, some shenanigans with Steve, and hopefully the Screw Tape letter. So hang around. Howdy, John Arthur Fiala for Further Everyday, sitting in the chair of philosophy. To my right, I've got Miss Nikki.
Hello. I am good. Today's a good day.
Amen. Glad you're here. To my left, I got Charlie and Steve, but I'm going to get Steve. Charlie, how's it going? I'm tired. I did not sleep well.
I don't know who.
Charlie,
which one?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
I didn't sleep almost at all last night, so that's a different issue. But how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good. Glad you're not Steve. Hi, Steve. How's it going, Steve?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic, Charlie and John Arthur.
Charles Arthur.
Man, I don't know what's wrong.
It's contagious. Mr. Producer,
it's spreading down the
are you clear of this?
I'll keep you awake.
John Arthur, I'm Miss Nikki. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Well, glad you're there producing. Rai, the producer guy, thank you guys for being here. Let's go ahead and start off. Now, in his essay on The Weight of Glory, which you got to remember, C.S. Lewis, when he wrote The Weight of Glory, he wrote a set of essays that were going to be primarily posted, or rather published, through radio. And so a couple of things that you'll find, if you read his Mere Christianity, you'll find that Lewis took a lot of his essays that were written for radio for a 15-minute time slot, and then he put them into books later. And so these are meant to be written to the common folk of the day in Great Britain in a short time stamp. But he did lay out some very good rubrics, I believe, for Christianity. Lewis is not Scripture. We do not put him on the level of Scripture, just as a great commentary provider.
He was a great thinker.
He's a great thinker. He did a lot of intellectual legwork.
And if he were to, he would have, I'm going to go out on a limb. He would have felt comfortable against talking to some of the great philosophers of old. Yeah. He had that kind of a mind that could go real deep.
And so this comes from Melissa Perry's. If God's process is followed, then a war can be right. This is from B. Uncle Sam. There is such a thing as a righteous war. Would you call Archangel Michael a warrior? Yeah, I absolutely would. Discusses, was he not killed? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I will say, yes, there is a time. This is the synthesis, and I'm going to get to Lewis, but the synthesis of the argument that I'd like to lay forward is that violence is amoral, not moral, not immoral. It is amoral, and we're going to get to why that is in just a bit.
I think that's a really interesting thought, and I want to bring up Steph's stuff here, and I appreciate you putting this on here. My dad, a wonderful Christian man, loved his Lord, struggled with that, serving in World War II, never wanted to talk about the war. Correct. My heart aches over seeing something like that. When you, as a Christian, get into something like this, you have two things that you are conflicted with. Number one, is this right according to my Lord and Savior?
Yes.
Number two, is this right according to the men and women who govern over me?
Correct. And so you have to hold those two things in balance. And let's get to Lewis, because I do want to get into that, and I want to parse this really quickly. But that's actually the reason why I didn't enlist during the Afghanistan conflict, because I did not believe I could hold both of those two in hand. I didn't think that was a good war. But Lewis, on the other hand, while in the middle of the throes of World War II. He wrote this, Mr. Producer. I believe our cause to be, as human causes go, very righteous, and I therefore believe it to be a duty to participate in this war. Thus, we have a duty to rescue a drowning man, and perhaps if we live on a dangerous coast, to learn life-saving so as to be ready for any drowning man when he turns up. It may be our duty to lose our lives in saving him. But if anyone devoted himself to life-saving in the sense of giving it his total attention so that he thought and spoke of nothing else and demanded the cessation of all other human activities until everyone had learned to swim, he would be a monomaniac. The rescue of drowning men is then a duty worth dying for, but not worth living for. A man may have to die for his country, but no man must in any exclusive sense live for his country. He who surrenders himself without reservation to the claim of a nation or a party or a class is rendering unto Caesar that which of all things most emphatically belongs to God himself. I love the analogy, and it kind of falls into the ditch argument, which Lewis also used. If you are sometimes, not always, the truth lies in the middle between the two extremes when it comes to devoting yourself to a practice, not on morality, but on devoting yourself to a practice. Are you, it's like a gym membership or life-saving. Do you do nothing to take care of that, or do you do so much that it has consumed you and there's no room for Christ in your life? War. Can a nation have a just war? Last week we talked about what would be a jus ad bellum, the right or just war, the right to a war or a just war. Now, Iran may or may not fit that calling and cause. I believe it does. I believe it's a lot larger than Iran, and we're going to make the case historically that this sort of war has been waged for all of time. The question is, how are we waging it? Are we offering an off-ramp? Is our response proportionate? And can we win it? And that last one is a big one for debate, and reasonable minds will disagree on that, and I think that that is fair. But the question is can we have a world where pacifism makes sense? Can a pacifist nation live? And is it not just a matter of prudence, can you be a pacifist, but from the Christian perspective, can you be a pacifist? First blush, what would you say? Can a Christian be a pacifist?
No.
And why not?
Because in the world in which we live, when you talk about just doesn't mean fair. Just means standing up for what is right. Fighting the forces of evil. If you don't stand for what is right, then everybody loses. So to me, there may be moments to be passive, and somebody insults you, you can just, turn the other cheek, walk away. But in life-threatening situations that we find ourselves in the world today, you cannot be passive.
I agree. And actually, Ezekiel 33:6 speaks to this. Does anyone remember what was happening when Ezekiel 33:6 was written?
Is that the Watchman on the Wall passage?
That is the Watchman on the Wall passage. And in short, if a watchman sees danger, the sword, approaching, but fails to blow the trumpet to warn the people will die in their sin, but God will hold the watchman accountable for their blood.
So that's really interesting you bringing that out, because B.A. Uncle Sam, good comment here. If you allowed someone to attack an innocent, would God punish you as well as
Correct.
the attacker?
The answer is yes.
I totally understand that and agree with it. And this is for those who say that America is not the world's policeman. I think there's some truth in that. We have to be careful with that as well. And this gets into a lot of different dynamics. But what I go to is I go to some of the wars of the past that we've gotten into that maybe weren't
weren't just
weren't just and weren't right. Yep.
The problem is,
Go ahead.
and I was talking to a really good brother, a good friend. Actually, Mr. Producer and I were chatting it up on Wednesday with this gentleman who we dearly love, and he said, "Look at what we've done in the Middle East. We are the cause of the Middle East." And I don't agree with that entirely. I agree with it in part. I agree that we have had bad policy in the Middle East. My response to this gentleman was, I grant you that there has been bad policy in the 1980s and 1970s, and maybe you don't agree with the formation of the State of Israel. Maybe you don't agree with the way Britain divided things up and the way that they betrayed the Saudis when they gave Israel to the Israelis. Maybe you have that entire line of logic and you are fully beholden to that. Granted, if I grant you all of that you are correct, what do you do today? You didn't live in the 19 teens. Most of the people listening to the sound of my voice did not live when Israel became a nation. Okay? What do you do today? Most of us were not born, teenagers, or early working class folks, not in the government, when the Shah fell. Okay? Just saying, what are we doing about it today? This is a long time ago. Today, what do you do about it? For those who are frustrated with Iran, you have a right to be. My question is not, what did we do back then? It's, what do we do now? You cannot divorce the two. Noted. However, what do we do now with the information in hand? And how we act, we will be judged on as a nation, as a people, and as Christians. To B.A. Uncle Sam's question, yes, you will be judged if you're a man of the house and someone comes in and you say, "Oh, I'm a pacifist, I can't hurt you," and that person takes your wife and does unspeakable things.
Oops.
You will be judged for that as the man of the house. That is something that God will hold you to. So the question is, and Charlie and I might have a disagreement a little bit. I'd say this. I'd say whether or not we should be the world's police, we de facto are the world's police.
And certainly...
And that's a debate that can be had.
No, I understand. And I would say that is definitely the case right now. And the reason I say that is because when you look at the actions of a China, when you look at the actions of a Russia, there is a lot of implications in what is going on with this. So who is willing to stand up to those two? Well, we've seen that the EU is definitely not. They've had their opportunity. They had their opportunity when Russia invaded Ukraine. As a matter of fact, I would make a case that the people that really should have taken care of that issue was the EU. Not have been America at all.
But that's the thing. We should have picked a lane. Either
Yes.
we are or we aren't. And so some people won't like this. We are the global hegemon. I'm sorry.
We are.
We are the global empire.
Well, we're expected to be by everybody.
By everybody, because we've paid for everything for the past 50, 80 years. We have paid for everyone's meal ticket when it comes to the military. And we basically took on that responsibility from the British Empire. So now the question is, what do we do with that? Can we live? And here's where, I got to give this to Donald Trump. He's waging war in a different way. And I want to go back and I want to compare how Trump's waging war to some other wars in the past. And I've read through a lot of different historical context for war, and I was looking for something to say, how has Trump handled this similarly and dissimilarly to other empires in previous ages? And I want to compare, because there are some things that are similar, and then there is a entirely different spirit about how America has waged war for the past 80 years as an empire. Like it or not, if you don't like that term, I'm sorry, de facto, 400 years ago, 500 years ago, someone with America's power would be called what? Say empire. Yeah, empire. That's correct. It would have been an empire. That's correct.
Well done,
So,
Steve.
thank you, Steve. Better late than
Well,
never.
he said say empire.
So I want to look back actually at the Han Dynasty. And Mr. Producer, if you can pull this up, because this is something that the more things change, the more they stay the same. The Xiongnu were nomadic raiders who would kidnap Han royalty in China. This is in China, right? So thank you, Mr. Producer. Just pause for a second there. The Xiongnu were a bunch of raiders. They would come down into China and they would kidnap Han rulers. And so what the Han would do is they would actually go, thank you, put it back up, they would marry off their women as a form of peace treaty. The Xiongnu continued to raid the Han territories. Okay? So just think about that for a second. Thank you, Mr. Producer. You have a terroristic society on the border of your nation. You say, we're going to shake hands. We're going to make your people our people. We're going to offer you this hand. All you have to do is stop attacking us. We will welcome you. Is Iran not in the UN?
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they not in the UN? Next cut, Mr. Producer. The Han finally stopped negotiating when Emperor Wu came onto the scene. He inherited the throne and he fought an area denial campaign. He went out and took local spaces and reinforced them and fortified them. He colonized through marriage and unified that isolated that captured territory, isolating the Xiongnu. So basically what he did was he denied them the access to that land, piece by piece, putting in proxies. This is a proxy warfare. This is as old as time. The question is it right? This is not new. This is not unusual. The question is, this is part of millennia of statecraft. Are we doing it correctly? Mm-hmm. Are we doing it correctly? Well, let's go ahead and compare Emperor Wu, with Trump. Thank you. Those Chinese names throw me. Both offer diplomatic options. Trump, by comparison, has offered continued sovereignty. And most nations still retain their identity post-conquering by America. Very different than ancient Chinese, ancient European. Anyone else, name me one other nation that has conquered multiple nations and given all of them their identity back and allowed them to. One empire that's done that. You can't.
Nobody that I know of.
You can't. The closest thing is the British. And again, they did not allow them to self-rule the way we've allowed Germany, Japan, South Korea. We intended to with Vietnam. That's a whole different issue. And that is an example of bad. And look, just because I'm saying that we have precedent to do this doesn't mean that I don't consider this daunting, that I don't consider this something that should be, the Iran war should be taken on with fear and trepidation.
Boy,
lots of prayer.
That's a fact.
It's a serious issue. It's not something to be gleeful about. We're not necessarily happy that it's happening. We don't like the idea that there are children's schools that are receiving strays. Question mark as to who did that, right? Not a good thing. No one here in this room wants war. The question is, are we doing it?
Well, that's one of the reasons, the war is horrible, is because you do sometimes die by friendly fire.
Yeah.
And it happens, and there's nothing good about that. It's just, unfortunately, the good, the bad, and the ugly about war.
Yeah. It's not, no one wants this war, but we do want Iran to stop functioning as a proxy funder, because Hamas, ISIL, if you're retarded, or Obama, but I repeat myself, all of these other organizations are ultimately being funded by Iran. Some of them are being funded by Mossad. We can have that conversation. I agree with you. That's a boogaloo that should not be going on. Okay. Same can be said for the CIA and the things that the CIA does.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I agree with you. It's correct. That should not be. Do not like that at all. However, I'm speaking about America's interests, and we do have bases in the region. Those were the casualties in the early war were military bases where they're primarily being hit by swarms of drones, which if we do not catch up, we will not be able to keep up with their manufacture of $20,000 drones, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 drones.
The one thing, too, you're bringing up a pretty good point here. With respect to what some people think, that Trump did this because of Iran killing the Christians, that's another straw you could add. That's not the issue. The issue has been, and always has been, for Trump, has always been the issue of nuclear weapons.
And regional terror.
Yes.
And that's something that they're doing on our military bases.
And here's a problem that has not come to the level of Iran. North Korea. Mm-hmm. Now
we're going to talk about North Korea in just a couple of minutes.
And so I don't want to get too deep into it, but the difference between a North Korea and an Iran has much more capability and has been given a boatload of money that has been shipped over from the U.S. soil.
And I was about to say, a lot of it comes from us. And again, our dear friend said, hey, a lot of the money that they're waging this war with is American.
Yep.
Noted.
Yep.
You're right.
Spot on.
And that needs to be cut off. But guess what we can't do? We can't allow them to continue to work with that money and do evil things to Americans on American bases. I'm not even talking about Israel right now. I'm just talking about America. I'm talking about America's interests in the Middle East. We can talk about Israel. We can talk about an ally that, frankly, I do not see the same amount of vitriol towards South Korea that I do towards Israel. Noted, AIPAC spends a lot of money, and they should be kicked out or registered as a foreign agent. Noted, with you 100%. That should be taken care of. However, we have facilities in the region that are being attacked by Iran. That should be taken care of. And to go on into another good case study of a proxy war and what that has looked like in the past versus what it looks like today. Next cut, Mr. Producer, number 5. Let's look at the Peloponnesian War. Sparta versus Athens in 413 BC. Greece was ruled by Athens and it had subjugated Sparta and other city-states. Real quick, Mr. Producer, pardon me for a second. Thank you. The issue with Greece is that different coalition, you got to understand, Greece was this loose amalgamation of individual city-states. Each one of them had their own power set. Athens had this monetary wealth that they had somewhat accreted on their own, but then they had imposed a tribute on all the other city-states around them to rule Greece and to maintain the border. The problem was Spartans and others felt like this was becoming egregious. It was becoming oppressive and tyrannical. So what did the Spartans do? Well, they were kind of the Marines of the ancient world, if you will. So they said, hey, we're going to make a military play, go back to the cut real quick, for the position of leadership of the Greek city-states. Now, what's the next cut, Mr. Producer? What Sparta did is they cut off Athens' connection to Thessalia, that's hard to say, by occupation. Once they had starved out economically, Athens was ultimately overthrown as the hegemony of Greece. Now, what's the difference between Athens or Sparta and Trump? Well, Trump is offering continued sovereignty, not complete domination.
Which is really interesting.
Unlike the Spartans, this war is following threats of violence from Iran. Iran is the one that came to the table and said, yeah, we've got enough bombs to create a whole lot of trouble for you. That was their initial starting position. We're going to go over that one more time. We're going to go over what exactly they said. Not, hey, we're just wanting to be left alone. There's this contingent of Americans and conservatives who think and feel that Iran just wants to be left alone. They're looking for the 12th Imam.
Yes.
Who is an apocalyptic person. Not Iranians, the Iranian leadership. The Ayatollahs are eschatological accelerationists. They believe the more mayhem, the more infidels they kill, the sooner the end times will come. just like Christians, we desire the end times.
They desire it for a different purpose,
And well, for their
different outcome.
for the end of the world, and again the heralding in of heaven. So you're dealing with a religious Ayatollah. The Iranian people, by and large, do not buy into this, as far as we can tell. Some, again, maybe that's all propaganda. Maybe we're all fooled. I don't think so. I've been on X. I've looked at the accounts coming out of Iran. I'm sorry, I don't believe that.
Well, I think that the estimate is 80% of the people do not support the Ayatollah. 80% is pretty high.
And so you've got this regime that's a nuclear tyrant that is threatening American interests.
And obviously willing to use it on everybody else around them.
Israel, of course, is affected by this. Of course, they benefit from this. Here's the thing. Listen to the whole Marco Rubio clip, not the one that the media showed you. Listen to the whole Marco Rubio clip where he says, we were planning on doing this. This is the time scale was in the next month or two. Because Israel was moving, we went ahead and moved as well. We were already planning on doing this. The plans, you don't achieve air supremacy in a matter of a couple of days without this having been the war planners' ideal scenario for months, maybe even years. They've been thinking about it. This has been planned. This is something that we've been looking at doing for a very long time. And now we did it. So for those of you who are saying it's just about Israel, it may be in part.
I don't think you're paying attention.
Trump's wanted this the whole time.
Well, let's go back to Venezuela. So he left the leadership in power, okay? But who's controlling what's going on with the oil? Mm-hmm. America is. Mm-hmm. And what Trump is doing there is they're trying. He's really quite masterful. He's trying to. He's controlling the oil, but he's also giving the people an opportunity to set up their own government, the government that they want.
And he wants that.
He does, because the person in charge knows that they have to be in line with the United States, or it's going to be worse consequences.
Yeah.
That's no different than Venezuela. It's the same issue.
That's what I just said. It was Venezuela.
Yep.
So now in Iran, what happened? They're sending Marines to what island? They're not sending them to Iran, but to the island off Iran. And what's on that island? Oil. So Trump is doing the same thing. He is controlling the oil supply, major oil supplies, to try to get countries to get in line, not to change their leadership, but to start doing the right thing, and the right thing for their people. Because if we control the oil, that economically has, effects on them. And I did hear through Amir Sarfati that all the generals in Iran are very, very wealthy because they
have raped the people economically.
Well, they're very wealthy, and that oil supply is going to affect them personally. So Trump is a master. And guess who is contacting Trump? Cuba.
This is all about deterrence. And, and we're going to make the point that we're actually in a dire strait right now with North Korea if we don't wrap this quickly. So just understand, everyone on this panel, and I think the administration is aligned with this, I hope and I pray, this war needs to end fast.
I think of all the people that know that,
I think Trump knows it. I think Trump knows that. I hope he knows that. It appears that he does.
You know what's interesting about this is that war at this point in time is going a lot quicker than most people even thought that it would, because of what all has been happening and the way that it's been happening.
Yes.
I mean, they have really been hammering.
They want it to end fast.
Iran.
And we want to do it with the minimal casualties. Even Lindsey Warhawk freaking Graham says, hey, Israel, don't blow up all of their oil. They need to be able to subsist afterwards. That tells me that of all the people to say that, of all the people, Mr. AIPAC, Lindsey Graham, he's coming out and saying, okay, there's a plan here, and we got to have the Iranians on our side when we're done. Israel, chill the front door out. Like, chill out. Chill. Right? That's telling me that he's gotten this from the administration, that they need to leave something for the Iranian people to actually benefit from.
And I'll tell you, the thing that goes through my mind is the statement that Netanyahu made after October 7th. We are going to destroy them. And he was talking about Hezbollah or Hamas. And in the back of my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, this is our chance to do that. And sure, you can go after Hamas, but really you're attacking part of the problem. The part of the problem that really needs to be addressed is Iran, because that's where that funding is coming from.
And really, guys, none of this is about Iran. It's about knocking down bricks. It's about cutting them down one more. In fact, that's the point. All of this is focused on the overall BRICS coalition. We are entering into a modern Cold War. We have been for a long time. It's transitioning out of the economic Cold War of the late 90s, early 2000s that we've largely lost because we failed to maintain our own manufacturing on American soil. And because our interests are so scattered across China, Taiwan, et cetera, we now have to be really intentional, or else we will lose our ability to fight, which kind of is a good segue into the next cut. Mr. Producer, go ahead. This is Alexander the Great versus Persia. Let's go ahead and explore a little bit of this, because this is what we're doing today. In Alexander the Great's conquest of Persia, he fulfilled prophecy and destroyed. We'll have to do a whole segment on that sometime. It's a great prophecy. Tyre represented the Persians' ability to wage war in the future. Once Persia's fleet fled, Alexander burned their port to the ground. Next cut, Mr. Producer. This denial of a naval port destroyed and set back the Persians' ability to retaliate. It ended the Persian influence, their node of power in that strategic space. That infrastructure was the end of the Persians' war effort. Once that infrastructure eroded away, it was gone, it was done. They had no fight left. What does this compare to today? Trump is not conquering Iran. He's offering continued sovereignty once again, and he's merely requesting the cessation of nuclear posturing and all capability to do that.
And has given Iran months and months and months to get this figured out.
Too much time.
I think we've given Iran years.
Yeah.
We have.
All the way back to what? Clinton, back to Carter. I mean, when you think about it,
Well, Carter to me was the one that allowed it to really get started.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, America has taken the, you could almost say pacifist notion
isolationist
for so long. And Trump, look, guys, you can be upset with Trump all you want. He has made it very clear that he's had Iran on his radar way before he started running for president.
He's been talking about this for 30 years. If you're surprised by this, I would encourage you to go look at their many supercuts of Trump talking about this over his entire public life. This is not a surprise. The question is are we doing it in a just way for a just reason with a just outcome in mind and a completion date? I believe there is a completion date. Let's go ahead and just review one more time what exactly we're looking at here. In just a moment, we're going to look at why we're here, but I do want to check in on the progress. This is as of a couple of days ago. This is Pete Hegseth addressing the American people, Secretary of War. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Yep. For that reason. There you go.
Their production lines, their military plants, their defense innovation centers defeated. Iran's leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity. Apparently, killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity. Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why. His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them. Who's in charge? Iran may not even know. With every passing hour, we know, and we know they know, that the military capabilities of their evil regime are crumbling. They can barely communicate, let alone coordinate. They're confused, and we know it. Our response? We will keep pressing. We will keep pushing, keep advancing. No quarter, no mercy for our enemies.
So I thank you, Mr. Producer. That is what has been missing from the American ethos. And I want to compare. Oh my gosh, is that proportionate? Is that a proportionate response to what Iran is saying? Next cut, Mr. Producer. I think it is.
Is there still space to do a deal with whatever is left of the Iranian government?
I think there is. I think that's going to be up to the president. That's what I think. But they didn't seem to be very amenable in those first set of negotiations. You heard what I said. They said we have the inalienable right to enrich. They bragged about having 60% enriched fuel, enough for 11 bombs. And they told me and Jared, we're not going to give you diplomatically what you couldn't take militarily.
That's it.
Oh.
You know, I think they're going to need a change of attitude.
Keep going.
What sort of thing do you want to see in a deal? I mean, do you think you have maximum negotiating leverage at this point?
I think the president has proved that we have.
Iran today accused the U.S. of
hitting. A lot of negotiating leverage, maybe maximum, but we're not looking to settle. They'd like to settle. We're not looking to settle.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. So I don't know how it's any clearer. You're gonna have to come and take it from us.
Okay.
Bet, as the kids say. We got you.
Okay.
We're coming for it.
We're on for that.
And how many years have they been saying that?
So let me say it this way. There is a .38 caliber revolver on this table, okay? And I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to put it to Miss Nikki's head. Charlie, I'm going to shoot your wife.
No, you're not.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm going to take you out.
You're going to take me out. Why?
Because you're a threat to my wife.
Because it's just.
Mm-hmm.
If someone threatens if they threaten your family, I'm sorry, where is the muscular Christianity? If they threaten my family, they're done.
Drop them like a rock.
Hey, we have 11 dirty bombs worth of uranium.
That's what he said.
We're going to, and that's what we're bringing to the table. What are you going to do about it? We don't negotiate with terrorists. Oh, should you give them a chance? We gave them a chance for 20 years. We set up a proxy state. We set up your two-state solution.
Didn't work.
Why? Because they're ideologically different from us. Not genetically in any appreciable way. I'm not talking about eugenics. I'm not talking about lessers. I'm saying they have an evil religion, an evil ideology, and they desire to do evil. And part of their eschatology is the more of us that they kill, the better. Can we win them to Christ? I pray so. Do I wish to see every single one of them redeemed to Jesus Christ, my Lord? Yes. Do I desire this war? No. Do I desire the death of my family and friends? A lot less so than I desire I'm sorry, it's not the same. It's not the same. I desire, if you value bombing my family and friends over your life, that's your problem. That is your problem, Iran. So you have to tell us what's so funny, Steve.
It's good.
Okay.
On the live chat?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read
Yes,
it.
on the live chat. Comment. Formerly W.W. Corrigan. Maybe Iran should have come to the negotiating table before they became cardboard cutouts.
You know what? I totally agree.
Yep.
Like, look,
That's what Charlie and I were.
you're going to have to learn something,
Yeah.
guys. When we say no, and to Charlie's point, this is exactly what you're saying. We let deterrence lapse
Yep.
since Carter.
Yep.
How is deterrence set? Through what, Mr. Producer? How is deterrence always set?
Violence.
Through violence. It is not a nice thing. And it is fought through, it is bought in blood.
But I don't think we ever do violence first. I think we always try to negotiate. I
Violence
think
is the
there's-
last resort.
Yeah, I think the negotiation that Trump did, you know,
He tried.
Let's negotiate.
But that's the point, isn't it?
But we've lost all ability to negotiate because we've never backed our stance up.
And I just
Since
thought about
Carter.
this. And I
Even before Carter, the whole Vietnam War was us
Yes.
losing deterrence. We did not go in and do what we said we were going to do. Instead, we fought this 11. What is it? What was Vietnam? 11 years,
yeah.
if memory serves. 11 years. Instead of doing it in 2, we
Yeah.
could have done Vietnam in 2 years.
But you had people fighting in the government about whether that should have happened.
And so instead of actually carrying it out, instead of actually saying,
Yep.
we are serious about when we say this, we're not going to allow. And what Trump's doing is, hey, come to the table. Oh, sorry, you can't come to the table. Next guy, because you're dead. Oh, sorry, you don't want to come to the table. Next
You're
guy,
dead.
You're dead. Come to the table. I have no interest in killing your people. I have interest in knocking off your dictators. That is a different and that's why the history, like, look at the difference. There was this gentleman's agreement in the European world that you did not attack kings. You left kings alive. Even in the ancient Mesopotamian world, there was some general formal design to let the king live. Even if it was underneath the table with their thumbs cut off and their big toes cut off, they would still be allowed to live. There was a gentleman's agreement among dictators. Trump's breaking that, and he's saying, you can't kill innocent people anymore. Everyone's valued equal. If you want to be the one to do this, I'm going to knock you
And he
off.
does not care what leaders around the world think.
Correct.
He does not care. And this is where I get it bothers me that people think that Trump is all part of this New World Order thing. Not because he aligns with it, because he doesn't. He's willing to go against anybody. He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care if you're an ally. He doesn't care if you're Canada by any stretch at the moment. I think the greatest pacifist president that we have had in Nikki's in my lifetime is Carter. If you think about, and I just thought about that.
Limp-wristed.
Very limp-wristed. And when you think about what happened there with the hostages, it took him how long to put together a rescue plan, and then it failed? That's sick.
That is
sick.
the issue. That is the issue. We lost that, and so now we're having to lay down deterrence again. It's not something that we desire, but you will only have peace when you have deterrence.
Amen.
So was he a pacifist because of his Christian beliefs?
I'm going to tell you something, and that's the ultimate question.
There's a weak Christianity.
There is.
Yeah.
There's a weak Christianity in America.
Not to get onto that debate now,
yeah,
but
I would agree.
I would agree with that.
So all of
People
this,
need to read the book of Nehemiah.
All of this has agreed. You
Right,
need to
Charlie?
read the book of Nehemiah. You have a responsibility and a duty, even if you were rebuilding the city, to build with one hand and carry the sword.
Amen.
You need to be able to do that. And Jordan Peterson said it really well. He said that a good man is capable of being dangerous, but he chooses to do good. A weak man is incapable of doing good. So is he really good? And that actually leans somewhat to Lewis. Lewis also said, what good is a man's gentleness if he does not have the ability to do violence? It's just that he's impotent.
Yeah.
He's not moral, he's impotent. And there's a difference. So it's a good thing to be a moral people who protect their own. So we're going to get into, in this next part, the most controversial part of this war for some people. It is time for a President Trump White House meme review. Before we do, keep it there.
My bad.
Keep it there. I want to play this. And this is out of North Korea. Just one last note. They're launching medium-range ballistic missiles to show off what they can do. You can pull the volume down. So what this is doing is this is allowing the Koreans, the North Koreans, the opportunity to think and posture that somehow they are going to become a regional power again. Remember in 2017 when we said this was done? So they're doing this. Thank you, Mr. Producer. We are providing memes. So go ahead and put up that one thing that we set up there. Yep. And go ahead and pull up the first meme. I want to get everyone's reaction. Live chat as well. You guys are going to have to tell us. You have to go wide. You have to switch those. You got to look before you switch. There you go. Yep. Go ahead. You have to go. You have to do this. Okay. It's live now. So go ahead. Number 2. Yep. Click number 2 on that. Yep. All right. Now click number 2 on number 1. You got this. I believe in you.
We're going really high tech now.
Yeah, you're killing me, Mr. Producer. Go ahead. Okay, so you have to switch the camera. So click on camera 1. There you go. And there you go.
All right.
Chair 2. Thank you, buddy. There you go. Good job.
Now we got it.
Now we got it. So now we've got this. I want y'all's reaction on this.
Okay.
And I want PSB. We're going to rank the White House's and DHS's most despicable memes, if you hear CNN talk about it, for this administration. So I've waited to show everyone until we're live. So go ahead, Mr. Producer, and drop the cut.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of! Finishing this fight. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger. Time to find out. Maximum effort. Finish. Here it comes. Now end this! Flawless victory.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. Okay, so real quick to the panel. Okay, so this is stuff that's catching on fire. I don't know if y'all have seen these.
I didn't see that one. No.
So there are a bunch of these. So I want you guys to hold that in the back of your mind. But first, I want your initial response to
I loved it. I did. I loved it.
That's an opening for a President Trump speech.
I wish he would do that for the
State of the Union. Oh man,
Yeah.
Watch the Dems run.
Watch him walk out like it's John Cena.
Now that would be interesting to have play right before he had
Steve.
a speech.
What are your thoughts, Steve?
I like it.
That was good.
Ryan, how did you like that OG Superman reference?
Loved it.
He's a big Superman fan. If you guys have not
And I'll be
been
honest
around
with you, I could have done without Superman in that one, but okay.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
That's right.
That's right.
They lost that. Which Superman was that? Truth, justice,
That was the,
and the all
early
the other
one.
stuff.
Because they had
Like
Christopher Reeve in it.
Yeah, it was Reeves.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is this anemic, limp-wristed American idea that we couldn't be truth, justice, and the American way. We couldn't put that in our movies. We had to kowtow to China. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. That I love. That I love. Every second of it. Now, John Arthur, how can you be such a warmongering, hateful person? People died. Look at the video we showed right before this. They're launching ballistic missiles. They're saying we are, and they're posting that. We're saying, okay, I raise your ballistic missile, and yeah, I'm a little bit crazy. In fact, I am bat bleep crazy. I am going to write a meme up and talk about how we gleefully delete you off the map. There is something good about that. That is showing strength. That is show. I like that. I like that.
And I go back to this again. One of the things I appreciate about Trump is that he handles war from a very different perspective.
It's a mental war and
it's mental.
personal.
It's largely mental. It is personal, but it's also specifically targeted.
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
good.
It is a person here. It's a person there. and it's bang, it's done, and you barely hear about it.
He's tactical. Okay.
Do y'all remember so many years ago when the United States had I believe, a battleship setting off the coast of North Korea, and North Korea was testing their missiles, and they kept blowing up.
Yep.
Like so far they'd take off and they'd keep blowing up. And then North Korea claimed that America was shooting laser at them off the ship and blowing them up.
Might have been.
So
then that ship ended up moving off and leaving, and then they had a couple of missiles that went up and did okay after that.
We're reasserting our dominance. So, okay, I want you guys to rate those in your head. Next one, Mr. Producer. I think this is going to be your favorite, Mr. Producer.
Oh my gosh.
I knew you'd like it, Mr. Producer. He's smiling.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I love this timeline. Next one, Mr. Producer. I love this timeline. This is amazing.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And...
Wait for it.
We won't stop making nuclear weapons.
Okay. Is this insensitive? Yes.
I like the music.
I like it. I like it. So, Mr. Producer, you were saying you didn't think you'd like it. I think you would. I think you will. I think it's funny. You liking that?
Well,
he's not sure what to think.
Well, I'll tell you what, they
half
sure
the
are
stuff you
playing
show
some
me-
good rock and roll.
Yeah. So,
Half
okay.
the stuff you show me is a bit unhinged for my taste.
Well,
so I wasn't sure.
yeah, it fits my personality. So, okay. So, and then, okay, we've got a couple more that I actually want to show you because there's a few more that aren't necessarily directly related to Iran. So go ahead. Yep. Switch and throw that up.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
I couldn't figure this one out at first. $2,600 stipend, limited time only. Only illegal immigrants need to apply. Free ticket. DHS. So they're offering a free ticket and a $2,600 stipend to go home. Are you missing home? Are you missing home? So that I would say that's the carrot. Let's go ahead and play the stick, Mr. Producer. Next one. It's going to be the stick. This is deportation ASMR.
Oh no.
You know what ASMR is, right?
No.
They whisper and bump into them. It's like this oddly sensual thing with strange noises. So this is deportation ASMR. Mr. Producer knows what ASMR is.
Yes.
How does this rank on your ASMR scale? Just give me a look.
I'll get back to you on that.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. So some people are going to say, that's insensitive. Yeah, it is. And it's nowhere near as sensitive as this last one. This is, we had to throw it in. It's a classic. Go ahead and switch over real quick and hit us. Oh no, did we lose?
Oh, what?
Give me the audio. Give me the audio. Oh no. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Listen to lyrics.
Oh my gosh.
kind of did put him in a box.
You gotta be top there. So, are these insensitive? Yes. Are we trying to be sensitive with an enemy who is saying that they wish to put upon us a nuclear holocaust? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Charles.
Well, I want everybody to understand us very clearly. There's a lot of good people in Iran, and we're not talking about wiping. Yeah, we're not talking about wiping out the whole country. We are talking about rooting out the rot that sits in their government.
The military infrastructure specifically. If you are part of the oppressive regime, we wish you gone. If you are part of Iran and you wish to be free of this, we want you in the government. We want you to take over, or at least to be able to vote for a better government, something that is not an oppressive regime. That, look, can we all just agree, if you beat your women, you're a bad culture?
Hello?
Like, if you beat your women, you're a bad culture, and I don't really think you deserve to, continue having that culture. If you marry women at 9 years old, you're a bad culture, and you don't deserve to live.
Kids to kill other people because of their religion. I mean, we're talking like 9-year-olds.
That's evil.
Absurd.
That's a kind of evil that needs to be resisted.
So there's a dichotomy. There are Iranians who wish to be free of this, and there are ones that don't. The ones that don't, we are going to bomb the ever-loving tar out of until they're gone, and then everyone else can rebuild. And hopefully we leave enough of a country that they can actually rebuild. We need to do this quick and easy. Favorite meme off the lineup. What wins it?
The first one.
Which
first one.
The first one.
And the last one was my second.
I would say the first one.
The first one.
I will say though, the golf one was excellent. I love that one too.
I really liked that second to the last one, especially the rock and roll at the end where it really kicked off. That was pretty good.
I'm a sucker for that.
It was really hitting it good.
It's a tie between the first two.
Tell us in the comment section. So I got to say, I'm a sucker for Bomb Iran, but I will pull out the
Can you sing it for us right now, John Arthur?
No, because we need to go to the next segment. But I will say
that was a good question, though.
The ASMR one, here's the thing. I actually think Trump's doing really good work and the DHS is doing good work with telling people you need to move along. We're giving you a $2,600 stipend. And if you don't, you're going to look like these guys. Here's some ASMR of people being chained up. Maybe you need to leave the United States. Like, that's the kind of unhinged propaganda that actually works. Yeah. And how many people have self-deported now? It's almost 2 million by the last metric that I saw have self-deported.
That's not nearly enough.
It's not nearly
enough. But in 1 year, I will take that. If it is a logarithmic curve, it needs to become a logarithmic curve. I'm not saying that's enough. I'm not saying that's the end. But if it becomes a logarithmic curve, that's the trajectory we need. So, dark horse winner, the ASMR ones, because I think look at what they did in South America, or Central America rather, where they chained everyone up and they herded them all through the prison like cattle, and they beat these tattooed gangsters, and all of a sudden crime dropped.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing here with the DHS messaging, and I'm a big fan of that. From the perspective of getting stuff done, that is a fantastic op, and it's a psyop. This time it's actually a good psyop.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a net positive for America. Chat's going to have to tell us what your favorite was. But for right now, we're going to move on into something, again, kind of light, but more uplifting. Some Nikki knows. Facts.
Oh.
Go ahead and put it up there.
Okay.
We got to work on the audio here. We have the audio somewhere, but go ahead.
So we're going to do 1804 to 1817. The next 14 years. And actually, I've had a lot of fun doing this. because I like history anyway. So I pull up these things, and then I have to go do.
Then she digs
reading.
more.
Yeah, then I have to do more reading because I get so interested in it. But the first thing we're going to talk about is in 1804, the Lewis and Clark expedition. Now, this was just as the Louisiana Purchase was being done, and they were to begin their journey from St. Louis to explore the newly acquired Louisiana Territory. Now, President Thomas Jefferson commissioned the mission to find a water route to the Pacific Ocean. You remember how important that was to get there. Now, the expedition traveled over 8,000 miles and lasted more than 2 years. Can you even imagine?
I cannot.
Can you not even, because they went on foot. They did gain some horses in a little bit, but they did start on foot. Now, this is interesting. They documented over 100 new animal species, 170 plants. And these were previously unknown to science. Guess what they discovered during that time? You'll like this, Steve. The grizzly bear.
Oh, yeah.
The grizzly bear. Oh, and by the way, now I would listen to a podcast, so I'm assuming that it is true, is that when they saw the grizzly bear, they were amazed how big it was. And 4 men shot at the grizzly bear, and he kept coming at them. And so they learned real fast, this is not your normal.
This is a big
this
time
tough
predator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
big time.
They also discovered the American beaver, bison, and the pronghorn. There was different birds, fishes, and snakes, and different plants. But it was really interesting. Now, the expedition relied heavily on Native American knowledge and guides. Of course, they would have to. Now, here is a young woman. Everybody's heard her, and this is how I'm going with her name. People say it differently. Sacagawea.
Sacagawea.
I've been
got close.
I'm sorry I had to laugh because, guys, you do not understand. Nikki and I we're sitting and talking about this segment earlier this week, and she is dying. She spent 5 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating, 5 minutes trying to pronounce this name.
Sacagawea.
Nikki, you never watched Night at the Museum?
I was going to say, it wasn't that the ultimate. That is to give Miss Nikki an understanding she's not alone. This is an issue.
Anyway,
Sacagawea.
it actually is pronounced different ways, but it means bird woman. So we're going to talk about her just for a little bit. Because this has there you go. There you go. Now, this is a woman on a journey with these men.
You have the mute button, Mr. Producer. Keep
Oh, yeah.
Push the button there. Okay, she's born around 1788, and she was born to the Shoshone tribe, which is in Idaho or Montana. Now, her early life was spent learning the survival skills in the Rocky Mountains, but she was kidnapped by the Hidatsa tribe when she was 12 years old. And they raided them. The Hidatsa raided the Shoshone, stole her, probably stole some other, and she was forced into marriage around the age of 14 or 15 to a French-Canadian fur trapper. She was her husband brought her to Lewis and Clark because they realized they had to buy some horses. If they're going to go on the mountains and look up, and they needed horses, and they wanted to get them from the Shoshone. Well, she was from the Shoshone tribe and spoke the language, and that's how she got on the expedition. But she was also pregnant at the time.
Yep.
So during the expedition, she actually gave birth at the age of 16, I believe. So
can you imagine the difficulty
of
a 16-year-old at that time going? I mean, you're talking how many miles?
It's crazy.
8,000?
Yeah, and she came, I think, kind of in the middle. Not in the middle, but not. She wasn't there. At the
Still a lot of miles.
Yeah, it is a lot of miles.
On a horse.
Now, according to the podcast, I learned that she had a really difficult delivery. So she did. I mean, her and the baby both survived, but I guess it was a very difficult one. And to be out there,
I was going to say, just being out there alone.
Of course, then again, Indians kind of lived, on the prairie anyway. They're a little,
but it's a little bit easier when you're at home with people, and you can get better midwifery done.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so she could speak both Shoshone and Hidatsa, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's just the way it is. So she was a translator. Now, when they got to the Shoshone, the chief was her brother. So they were reunited for the first
Wow.
time since she'd been kidnapped. It was very interesting.
Now there's a Nikki knows facts moment.
Of course, having her on the expedition, a woman on an expedition, they thought, well, this is not a war party. There's a woman here.
Yeah.
Because they didn't bring women on war parties. Now, one of the things that she did was one of the boats had capsized. You know, they were taking record. They had journals and everything of what they were doing, and it was in that boat. And she saved all that information. So they really were quite appreciative of her. As a matter of fact, Lewis and Clark named a tributary of Montana's Musselshell River after her because of what she had done. So,
and if there's, I would recommend to people, if there was ever a bucket list thing to do in the West, doing the Lewis and Clark Trail.
Oh yeah,
is really cool.
Bring up there the first picture. Okay, so here's the men getting ready. Go to the next one because it's her and her baby, and then the third one.
I love that picture there.
Okay, and she's just on this expedition with them. She can speak the language. Her husband was the one that brought her along because he wanted to be part of it too. So the next one we're going to talk on is William Clark's slave, whose name was York. Go to the next one. I could not pick up a picture of this man York. Now, slaves at the time did not have last names, but York made a name for himself. He performed critical roles, including being a hunter, a scout, and a negotiator with tribes. The Native American tribes, get this is interesting, were fascinated because he was black. They thought he had powerful spiritual abilities because he was a black man. Now, I thought, isn't that funny? The white people enslaved him. The Indians thought he was a great spiritual. But anyway, he was actually also able to participate in some of the crucial decisions, like where they were going to win or they allowed him to vote. And that was very rare for a black man. However, despite everything that he did, at the end of the expedition, when all the other men got paid, he did not, which is really, as we all know, it's unfair. And it the story doesn't really end well because here you have York out there with the other men contributing to everything. And they said that when him and Clark went back home, he kind of became abstinent. I said that wrong.
Obstinate.
Obstinate, I know. I get tongue-tied all the time. My husband has to correct me.
I was going to say, I didn't know that they were in a relationship.
My husband corrects me all the time.
That's some new history. I'm surprised the Wokies haven't brought that one out yet.
I didn't tell you everything about the Indians.
Secret.
But
I'm not going to go down the list.
I'm not going to go down that one.
You can have a good laugh over that one. But anyway, it did not end. It just did not end in a good manner for him, and I'm really sad about that. Also, another thing is Lewis and Clark, what they did really didn't become famous until many years later.
Yeah.
Because people just,
remember, they were exploring and they were trying to do, they're early cartographers, right? Mm-hmm. So their work was going to take years and years to actually be published and propagated.
And already by that time, there's a lot of people that already moved into that territory.
Yeah.
Lewis, as a matter of fact, had a problem with drinking, and he actually committed suicide. That's how he died. Many years later. Yeah, it was very sad. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
I just want to follow up with one thing on that. When you think about some of the great people of our history, and they have committed suicide, you wonder why.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the high.
Yeah.
And then how do you ever compete with that again?
You don't.
It's like Robin Williams.
Yes.
And
yes.
I forget if it was Robin Williams who said this. They said, the loneliest moment is when you get off the stage. Is when you're back in your trailer.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to digress there.
I know.
But imagine accomplishing all of that and then not.
I just find it interesting that somebody like this in this story has done a great thing and comes to a point in his life where he feels like it's meaningless.
Yes, suicide always is a sad thing.
That happens a lot with folks who are alcoholics.
Yes, drinking is a terrible demon.
It's a lonely
thing. All right. Number
Next one.
5. The Haitian refugees transform New Orleans. So back in 1809, there was a Haitian revolution, and thousands of refugees fled to the United States. As a matter of fact, over 9,000 arrived in New Orleans. Now,
wow.
And nearly half were free black people, and they increased the city's black population, but they also brought with them the French language, the Caribbean culture, and musical traditions. So their influence helped shape what later became the Creole culture and early jazz traditions. Anybody who knows anything about New Orleans, now you know
where it comes from.
Where it comes from. I thought that was very interesting to find out that. Also, they do have the voodoo down there too. That probably came there.
That's where it came from.
That's where it came
New
from.
Orleans came from.
And the reason why New Orleans has some benefit is because it mixed with Christian culture. But and it wasn't entirely devoted over, because you just go to Haiti and you see how desperately difficult it is to live down there.
Yes.
Is that
yes?
Not some them in Cuba?
Yeah. Well, it all boils down to ideology.
Yep.
And that's why I say that the British Empire is the 4th best thing to ever happen to creation, in this sense. Whenever you look at where they were driven out, and that's why you had a lot of people fleeing. Wherever they were driven out, it has relapsed. Wherever colonialism was generally tolerated, they have still maintained second or even first world status.
Yeah.
But wherever they have gone, it is worse for that nation or area than it ever has been. I'm not saying the British did a good job or that they were nice people. I'm saying the fact that they brought Christ with them, that changed the culture.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Satan, when he conquers it even harder.
Yes, he does. He does. Okay, so let's go on to number 6. And here we are going to bring up, I believe I'm going to say this, Charlie's going to help me, Tecumseh.
Tecumseh.
He created the first Native American Confederacy. Now, this is interesting. He was a Shawnee leader, and he attempted to unite dozens of tribes into a pan-Native Confederacy. He probably saw that there was no way they were going to fight off these white people, white soldiers that were coming into their land unless they all worked together. He believed that all the lands belonged to the tribes collectively, and he wanted to resist the American westward expansion, which I don't blame him. His movement gained a lot of strength across the Midwest before the War of 1812. Now, he allied with the British to stop American expansion. That would have been a disappointment because the British would have expanded anyway. So
yeah.
Now, he died, though, in 1813, and it marked the collapse of the largest Native resistance movement of the era, which, 1812, things were changing pretty quick.
Fast.
Pretty quick during that time. Let's go to number 7. The War of 1812.
The second and final war for independence.
Yes, the Second War of Independence. Now, the war began partly because Britain was impressing American soldiers into the Royal Navy. They were kidnapping them.
Yep.
That's what they were doing. And they also were harassing American trade, the ships that were out there. It was causing a great deal of problems. They did burn Washington, D.C. in 1814. Now, if you remember last week...
Freaking Canadians. They joined them for that.
Yep.
We're not going to go there.
I'm glad we beat you in hockey. Anyway, continue.
Yes.
Ow!
Yes.
Man, just laying it on there today, aren't you?
Now...
Well, they got
the Canadians always deserve it, okay?
Yeah, they got the Chinese coming over there, so, I mean, what the
We love you
our
Canadians. Yes.
We love our Canadians. It's just the socialist
want freedom.
The socialist garbage we don't love.
Get better leaders.
Yes.
The war confirmed America's independence on the world stage.
Get the king off your dollar. Anyway.
Yes. And it also created kind of a patriotism across the country. Because before this, there were still those that were favoring the crown of England, and those that wanted their independence. After this war, it kind of brought the country together, unified. The war ended with the Treaty of Ghent in 1814. Now, we're going to go to number 8. We're going to talk about a little something here in the black soldiers that helped defend the War of 1812. And this is the Battle of New Orleans in 1814. So we just talked about the Haitians that settled there earlier. So thousands of black Americans fought for the United States during the war. Some served in integrated naval crews under Oliver Hazel Perry. And, of course, the Battle of New Orleans. Well, of course, that all goes together with the refugees that settled there. In New Orleans, a battalion of free men of color helped defend the city. Many hoped military service would lead to greater freedom and civil rights. Their service demonstrated that black Americans were already fighting for the country decades before the Civil War. This is true. All these little things are true that, once we got to the Civil War and we ended slavery. Now, number 9, I know Ryan is going to love this. The Star-Spangled Banner is written after the Battle of Fort McHenry. This is still the War of 1812. In September 13 through the 14th, the British Navy bombarded Fort McHenry. Now, Francis Scott Key, on the morning of September 14, seeing the American flag was still flying over the fort, he was inspired to write the Star-Spangled Banner. But did you know that there was a popular song at the time, and he wrote the song, or he wrote the Star-Spangled Banner according to that hymn, or the tune of this popular song. Maybe it was easier for people to learn it. I'm not sure. But I thought that was interesting. Now, in 1931, the Star-Spangled Banner became the national anthem of the United States. And do we still sing that today?
Yep.
Yes.
In some way, shape, or form, depending on whose shape and form is trying to sing it. But that's another issue.
Charlie many times has to shut it off because he can't handle it.
Stop editorializing it. Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
You're leading in the song. You are not. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Some do a great job.
A lot of church worship, quote unquote, leaders would do well to learn from that as well. You are leading. You are not performing, you dunce. Anyway, continue.
So the flag, I want you to understand, the flag measured 30 by 42 feet. That was huge. It weighed 50 pounds. Each stripe was 2 feet wide, and the stars measured 2 feet in diameter.
Wow. Now that's cool.
So when the British Navy came, there was no way they could miss that flag. There was no way. They saw it flying, and they were trying to bombard it, and it stood. It was still flying the next day. It now hangs in the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. By the way, though, it's not 30 by 42 feet because so many people took souvenirs of the flag. And so it's not
that big.
Yeah.
In Kinsley Wren, we see you there. We see you, and we're with you. I live in Canada. I love my country, but I don't love what globalists are doing to Canada.
Agreed.
Amen. Yes, we are with you. And go Alberta.
Break off.
One more. Number 10. One more. America's first steam locomotive, 1814. Look at that baby. So this came from a British engineer, George Stephenson. While in England, the invention sparked the railroad revolution that would soon transform America, and it did. Mm-hmm. The expansion going west had a lot to do with the railroad. It became the backbone of American expansion and industry, of course. And, of course, it's faster than horses and
more reliable.
Yes. And within a few decades, the railroads would connect the East Coast to the Midwest.
Probably the single biggest.
It was the acceleration.
It was the acceleration. It was the computer. That's an analogy. Well, it was the thing that transformed America.
It was a technological game changer, the force multiplier that shifted America.
Force multiplier is the word.
It was a whole new era. So, guys, Nikki knows fact for the next how many weeks?
We're going to July 4th.
We're going to July 4th on doing seven years each segment. So make
14.
14. I thought it was 7. 14 years each segment. We're going to go through and see what happened in 14-year increments. So make sure you stick
around. A lot of history.
we'll be going through a lot of history there.
Wow.
It'll be
I'm
good.
trying to
That'll be interesting.
trying to bring up things that we never heard, like the Haitian Revolution and 9,000.
Well, now we know where Creole comes for.
Yes, I
Really?
never heard of that until I started this. But I thought that was good. I didn't know about, Lewis committing suicide. I didn't know that.
And someone in the chat here, Powder Girl, had mentioned that there was voodoo in Port Arthur, Texas. Now, I've lived over in that area all my life, Bridge City, Needland, and everything. And I had great grandparents and other relatives that lived in Port Arthur, and I never knew that there was voodoo over in Port Arthur. Doesn't surprise me, but I never knew that there was.
It's everywhere, but it's just a matter of how much of it is there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's everywhere, especially here in the Gulf states. It's all over the place. So, this has been Nikki Knows Facts. Now we're on to some shenanigans.
We got some.
I can go shoot me a buffalo.
Yes.
Nope.
Stay out of my garbage can. I'll keep it to myself.
Yep. Unwanted neighborhood guests.
Wait a minute.
Unwanted neighborhood guests.
We love animals, don't we?
That happen to
Watch you call it
visit
animal. It's
the
coming.
neighborhood on occasion. And sometimes, occasionally, too often. Way too often. Now, this first segment I'm going to show you, I want you to watch real carefully. See if you can figure out who it is and what's happening.
All right.
Oh.
Nope, not that one. Oh, I love that picture. Ah, that's so cool.
Yep, 33. So I think this is a.
What do we got
Is this a Ring camera?
No.
What was that?
What are you throwing off your porch there, old man?
Golly, that's mean. You kicked off that.
What was that?
Tell them what it was, though.
Steve,
That
what
was
is
a
it?
possum. That's a possum.
I
Can't stop from
put
laughing.
up some cameras, I don't know, about 6 months ago, some security cameras over at my mom's house. I come out one evening, and I've got this container outside that I keep cat food in, that I feed some cats that hang
And the
out.
possums came for it.
And I went out and I looked. The cats were sitting out, just kind of sitting back, staring.
Like, do you see who's eating our food?
And I looked over in this container, and there's this possum sitting in this container, just sitting there, just eating the cat food. And I look at him and I said, "What in the world are you doing in there?"
And you grabbed it.
So
That's what I can't understand is you grabbed it.
So I reached
possums
down
freak out
there
when
and
you grab
grabbed
'em.
him.
Yeah.
So I just reached down there and grabbed him by the fur and picked him up and walked over to the stairs and just dropped him and said,
If you
"Don't get
grab
out
them
of here."
by the mange, they just go.
Yeah.
So Nikki and I,
And it's
that's
like they
funny.
faint.
Face.
Can I
Yes.
can I gift that, John?
They faint.
It's on the thing. You're
So,
the producer
you
for
know
that.
what's really interesting about that? Nikki and I, when we were moving from our home several years ago, we had redone one of our rooms. There was carpet in it, and we had redone it with a different floor. And the carpet was outside in front of the garage until we could get the dumpster. It was only a few days. Well, we were getting our roof done at the same time. And all of a sudden, I was cleaning up some of the stuff around there, helping them clean up the roofing material. And I'm hearing a sound. It's in the carpet. And I pull that
underneath?
joker back. It's underneath.
Oh, my
And I was
gosh.
telling one of the guys, I said, Jaime, we've got a possum here.
Under
Can you
the
help me with this? And he literally goes and he pulls the rug back, just grabs that joker, takes him over to the other side of the road.
So my understanding is that they are rabies resistant.
Yes,
Really?
They
Yeah,
are.
So they can get rabies, but it's highly, highly, highly unlikely.
Very highly unlikely. They rarely ever get rabies. And possums are one of the very few animals that you ever want to dispose of or kill off in your neighborhood or your yard. They are probably one of the best animals to have just roaming around in your yard.
Oh.
For one thing, they ticks, fleas, they eat all the little bugs and things that are in your yard and
I tend
get
to knock
rid of
them off. If I have cats, or especially if I have a mom with kittens, I will knock possums off because they have attacked kittens.
They will. And
They're very
and the
vicious.
thing is that I've done it too, because years and years ago when I did a lot of like real remote camping, I needed pot holders to handle hot pots. I had me a possum pot holder. So
Oh.
I kind of
nice.
made me a possum pot holder.
Possum pot holder.
Yeah,
You got
it
some
worked
nasty
real
teeth.
well.
As long as you didn't eat it.
Again, I don't go out of my way, but if I have pups or kittens in the mix, I will absolutely
Well,
go
they'll-
full Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator mode on those suckers.
Yeah, but
They get
other
a
than that,
22
you know.
head.
So I think if I were going
good
to
to
have animals around my home that were going to be good, guineas have to be up there because they're good.
Guineas are good to have.
Yep. And
Yes.
I would say possums.
Yeah.
That's me.
Next
Mm-hmm.
one, Mr. Producer.
Next, Mr. Producer. Raccoons. Now, you
definitely
see this
see.
picture of all of these.
Pink mist.
This can be a big problem, and this happens at people's houses. And if you don't think it doesn't, you feed one, and you will end up getting many, 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 many more.
You get the whole family.
Because I'll tell you, my youngest stepson started feeding one on his porch.
Oh, no. It's a huge
And I
mistake.
told him, I said, dude, don't do that.
They're
The
gonna
best thing you
rummage.
better do is trap him, knock him off, get rid of that thing, because you're going to end up with more. Within 3 weeks,
the family.
he had 20 of them on his front porch.
And they tear stuff up looking for
They
food.
do.
Man, big
So,
time.
My dad wanted to domesticate this 30-pound old raccoon. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
dude, you are not going to domesticate it. It's in the have
No.
a heart trap snarling at us. And Dad's like, we'll call him Albert. It's Fat Albert. And I'm like, no, Dad, no. After 2 weeks of trying to domesticate Fat Albert, I'm like, Dad, this is not happening. Mr. Producer's laughing. And so I'm like, Dad, it's time to put him down.
Did you
He
drop
is
him?
snarling. He's snarling. And so Dad goes, okay. We stick the 1022 through the have a heart trap. And for those of you on audio, you're going to have to imagine this. The 22 is like this, and Albert goes, ah, and it's like biting on the barrel.
On the end of the barrel?
the
Rip it to
22.
pieces.
And Dad goes, well, that was easy.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It makes me sad that we had to put the animal down. But I sat there, I was like, Albert, you had that one coming. You made it. You made it easy
I think
too.
formerly W.W. Corrigan, he's got this right. Raccoons are ruffians.
They are-
fact.
They will cut your cat or dog a new one.
Yes.
I have lost cats to, I am agnostic, cat or dog person. I will love both. I have had many cats die to those, with the exception, we had a Persian long-hair named Silky. He was a white Persian long-hair, heterochromia, gold and blue eyes. He would kill 30-pound raccoons. The reason we know they're 30 pounds is he would have the skin in one pile. Dad would come home, and there'd be skin, organs, meat, with a white-haired, long-haired Persian munching on the meat, just munching and eating it up. Or and the claws were this long. For those of you in audio, 4 inches long.
Oh boy.
I've
Those
seen them
claws-
drown dogs.
Yeah, they are menaces. Your cat or dog has to be a different kind of animal. I've only ever had one, maybe two, that could stand up to a raccoon.
Very few. They're
raccoons
terrible. I
can
mean, they can. And the thing is if you trap them around your house, it doesn't do any good to take them off, because they'll come back. They'll find their way back.
There'll be a pink cloud where the raccoon used to be if I have my druthers.
That's the only way to really deal with them.
If you raise them from a pup, they can be just like a cat or a dog.
Good to skin them and make some money.
And that too.
Yep.
I just make them pink mist.
Next one, sir. suburban coyotes.
Ooh.
Man, these can be bad. And if you're looking right there, what do you see in that picture?
I see some red, white, and blue kind of pole there, and I'm thinking that's
kids trampoline.
That looks like either a play set or a swing set or something like that.
Almost looks like those are noodles for a pool.
Exactly what that is.
Coyotes,
folks.
Coyotes usually travel in packs too.
Typically, there's usually 1 to 2, usually together. Sometimes there's more, but there's usually most of the time 2.
We had packs of 20 and 30.
Yes.
Over at the airport where I live. My dad had just got.
Yes.
He was working on Mom's car. He had just got done cleaning the PPK, and it was up on the work dolly or the trunk, and he was underneath. He was wearing his overalls as winter. This pack of 30 of them came through, and because he's on the ground, they start nipping at him, and he's wearing overalls. So he fights his way up, grabs the 380, and he starts putting hollow points, federal hydroshocks into them. He throws, shoots 2 of them. Everyone scatters. The 2 that are shot limp out into the middle of the road, and then all the rest of them descend on the 2 that were shot.
Ooh.
And the bones were picked clean.
Wow.
Yep.
They're like piranha, but dogs.
Yes. They are just, man, they will get on stuff.
Horrifying critters. They are absolute mess. They are not fifi. Okay.
Want to show that next picture, Captain? And this is a little example of why they do that. If you see that caption on that right there, it tells you just a little bit about what it says. It says, "Attention pet owners. There have been 3 coyotes on this block 2 nights this week at around 10 p.m. Please keep your pets safe." Coyotes are one of the worst things that cause missing pets. Not people stealing them, but coyotes.
Boy,
think about that.
The right shot with a rifle, obviously in a neighborhood, that's pretty tough.
And with people moving into
suppressed air guns are your best
area, coyotes have increased in numbers because of the availability of food. Pets, garbage, all that kind of stuff.
Cost for a 357 or a 50 cal air gun with a suppressor is now relatively low. It's
sure is
under
$300,
$400,
$500, somewhere around there. You can get them.
You're under $1,000 for something that can take care of a coyote in a populated area. I wouldn't recommend a 22 for a coyote, but you want something with a little bit more mass. And then, of course, 22 and over 22, most neighborhoods are going to be pretty pissed off. So an air gun is the way to go.
Air gun, suppressed air gun works real good.
Yeah.
Next one, sir. Bear on your porch.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Now, how many people would like to have this?
No.
Now, not many that I know of, and I know I wouldn't.
Nope.
So, there are plenty of people out Colorado, various places, and in Texas, we are getting more bears that are showing up in Texas. East Texas and along, I would say, northeast Texas on the Texas-Louisiana border and further out west. Now, in the states where they have bear hunting, now, people get them right on their back porch.
That's not Yogi.
No
says.
problem.
So
exactly. These aren't Yogi Bears.
From the chat.
Charlie and I are from Western New York, and many of the farmers have gone out of business. So the farmland is all overgrown. So the bears have increased in population. Now, my aunt and uncle, they have a house with a bottom basement, but you have to walk up the stairs to go into their house, and there's a porch. And in the middle of the night, they hear this noise, and they get up, and my uncle finds on the back porch a bear going through the barrel where the dog food was.
Yeah, that's what they'll do. That's why. So when you're camping, you actually need to put up a bear bag. You have to suspend, and there's a way to do this because some bears can climb. You have to set up a bear bag that is properly. You'll throw a line between two trees, and you'll actually put it up in the center, and that's where you put all your smellables. If you drink Gatorade out of your bottle, that goes in the bear bag, because the last thing you want is a bear looking for something sweet when it's hiding right up next to your leg. And,
in your tent, or man, they will come in.
So that's why you poop and pee in a certain way when you're out in bear country, and you don't. All of your food stuff, all of it, your clothes that you wore while you ate, you put them in a bear bag.
I think I'll be in a hotel.
I love what Crow for Freedom said. This is great. Crow for Freedom in the chat. As a rug.
As a rug. I like them as a rug.
Bears make great rugs, from what I understand, especially in front of the fireplace.
Oh, man.
I agree with that.
Next one, Captain.
And that begs a question. Crow for Freedom, do you have a bear rug? You just dropped that in the chat.
Mama bear.
Oh.
Now, I'll tell you what, this is not one you want to be around at all.
Ooh.
Zero.
You brought your cubs into this, lady. Why are you bothering me?
Exactly. You see cubs run the other direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most assuredly.
That's what happened with Ed and Barbara, where I was telling you guys that story about the friends of ours who went hunting, and they were doing some ranger work in Alaska, emptied both 4570 and a 454 Casull. If you guys don't know, it's a very, very large cartridge. Emptied them both into the bear's head. And
must have been a grizzly.
It kept, it was an Alaskan black grizzly, and dumped both, dropped in a speed loader on the other one, dropped two before it finally got done, not before it tore up the whole back end of their airplane. And Ed was trying to pilot and keep him from dying while Barbara was just pa, pa, pa. The vet said the second shot, what she believed was the second shot, took out half the brainstem, but out of pure spite, that mama bear kept coming. They didn't know why she was attacking. She just attacked. The kids must have been nearby.
Yep. That's probably right.
Crow for Freedom, I see it. No, but I need one. I would like one too.
We like
it.
All right. So next one, Mr. Producer.
Next one, Mr. Producer. A cougar.
Ooh.
Now, this is something that happens in numerous places where cougars are at. Be on your porch. They'll stare in your windows.
Ooh.
They'll go right up to your sliding glass windows and just stand there and look. Cats are curious. They're not much different than a regular house cat.
A lot of people make pets out of cougars, but they
I have a friend that did that.
At your own peril.
Multiple generations separated from the wild, and you have to raise them on a specific diet.
Yes.
You want to feed them cooked meat, not raw meat, for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons. Obvious. Now, before you show the next picture, Cap, hang on. This next one, for you folks out there, this is not women at a bar. Okay? When I say cougars, that is not what I'm talking about.
Okay, so Steve, I got one more story to tag on here. So there was a bunch of swingers at this one hotel, old lady swingers. Okay, I'm 14. My dad's in his late 40s or early 50s, whatever it was. I'm 14 years old, and they're all out partying, these older women, and so we get out of the pool. We're like, okay, this is uncomfortable, because one of them was like propositioning me. She's like 50 years old, and she's making advances on a 14-year-old. Mm-hmm. So we get up, we go in. There are a bunch of cats, and we actually adopted one of these cats because they were scheduled to be picked up by pest control. So we actually grabbed one of these cats, and this is the frame of reference my mom has. Okay, so she's like, okay, I know that they are looking at grabbing one of these kittens, and she comes into the jacuzzi where there's none of these cougars, women. And there's this other couple who are sitting with Dad and I. We're like, oh, it's crazy out there. It's nuts. And Mom comes out and goes, hey, you guys want to go out to the pool? Are you going to hang out in here? No, Mom, there's cougars out there. Oh, it's okay, John Arthur. You can take one home. The other couple gets out of the jacuzzi and beelines it right out of the room. And Mom's like, Well, that was weird. What's going on? We're like, Mom,
sit down and be quiet.
Sit down. You've got a story to hear because you don't know what you just said.
Oh, I would have loved to have been there.
These aren't those kind when I say cougars.
I'm going to have to bring that up to your mom the next time that we see her.
My poor mom, she's like, oh my gosh, no.
If you folks you'd love John Arthur's mom. She's so precious.
She's hilarious.
And that story right there, I can just see her kind of putting her face in her hands.
She's
I can
she's
too.
the golden retriever personality with a
Yes.
biochem major who's worked her way up into an oil company. A really brilliant woman, but kind of socially, very out there. But she didn't catch on to those cues.
That was so funny. So funny. Oh my goodness.
All right,
bring it on.
Okay, these are not the bar kind.
Yep.
Okay. These are the feline kind. All right.
They're the killing kind.
Yes. Well, there's
Is
bar.
that on a
the
porch?
bar kind can be that too, but these are ones that have fur and four legs.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that's not unusual in places where, especially when you have areas that you hunt cougar. Now, those, my bet, are probably either young males or a breeding pair.
Yep.
And a lot of times what you see come into areas that come close to population centers or around people are usually young males. Most of the time, not females. Females have a tendency to stay away from population areas because they look for more areas that are higher areas where more food is, and the younger males come into the population areas because it's easier to find food because they find that there's pets.
Right.
And they feed on pets. And they see young kids as prey.
My friend Colton, I was in 6th grade, he was in 4th grade. He got mauled by one that took out his whole kneecap.
Yep.
Before they could get it off. Yeah.
I think the thing that bothers me the most about the cougars in the stories, you'll see stories about people jogging in California, Southern California, that they encounter a cougar on a trail, and it's heart-wrenching to think that you go through an experience like that. And there's been some that have actually been killed.
And they're just stalking them. For
really
a long ways.
Yeah, so cougars are just like any cat. They will absolutely toy with their prey.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you want to make sure that you're watching out. I've heard of cougars coming into Houston, where we're from, all the way out from the plains. They will.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they will sometimes come in that far. If they decide they want to stalk something, they will stalk it for a long way.
Yes.
So they're like polar bears, but a little bit less scary. Only little.
Only
I don't know.
Yes. Next picture, Captain.
Yeah, well,
we're getting close to the good stuff. Now, I know people like to see deer in their yards.
No.
Okay?
No.
There are people that like to. People put deer feeders in their yards.
Oh,
I've
Lord.
worked in neighborhoods where you can't even drive the speed limit in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because you might hit deer.
But how do they know when it's bow season? As soon as it's bow season, they're all gone.
I know.
How do they know that?
Is.
They know it.
I might have to start hunting neighborhood.
We actually took our grandkids. There's this neighborhood, and they must feed all the deer because when we go there's deer all in the yard.
They're just laying in the yard. They're laying.
We've got a call permit out at this one place where I'm allowed to hunt, and it's a 2-month longer deer season because it's actually under a mandate. You have to crop the doe population.
Yes.
Because otherwise they're going to destroy the local ecosystem because we've reduced the coyotes. And so they don't have a natural predator. So you have to go out there and call them. But my gosh, there'll be 15 of them in one spot. And then literally deer season comes in next week, they're all gone.
Yep. You can't see them.
What's really
they're smart.
No, go
Michigan
ahead.
has a lot of deer. New York has a lot of deer, and it bothers me that they don't expand the season a little bit more.
I got a buddy in Michigan that was telling me, I was talking to him yesterday, and he said that the governor up there was planning on cutting down the number of deer that each person can take.
That's a bad move. That is a bad move.
That's what I was saying. And the thing is about having all of these deer in, you have to plant special plants or they will eat them to the ground, and you will have absolutely nothing growing in your flower beds.
Yep.
If you spend tons of money on flowers, you're not going to have flowers or bushes. They'll eat them to the ground.
Yep.
I've seen it.
Mr. Steve.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever had like a baby, like a mother deer leave her baby deer by your house or anything like that for a day or two? Because that happened to my family at our house. There was this baby deer that was just sitting there, still as can be, for like 2 days by our garage door until its mom came for it.
Yes.
Oh, my.
Yes, they'll do that at times. They sure will.
Did Mama come?
She did, like after a couple days.
Oh, wow.
The baby was gone, but she left it there for like 2 days.
Yes, they'll leave them in a place for like a day or two.
You see, Ryan, you're trustworthy.
Yeah, because they know it's a safe place.
Well, yeah, but you don't know the full story, Steve.
And it was like in between one of our cars and the garage door. We were scared to move that car because
See, here's the deal. They house sit dogs.
we do. We do.
Not so soft. Yeah, not so safe.
Yeah, they got a bunch of little heel biters. So, I mean, I think they are safe. It's just heel biters.
Yeah.
This is from Melissa Perry's on the awkwardness of some conversations with some people at John Arthur. I just had it. My aunt once said Saddam Hussein shot his wad at something. I had to explain that's doesn't mean what you think it means. It's like, be careful what you say, folks. Sometimes there's double entendres that exist. So yes, is a common feeling. You go, wait, just slow the roll there. Someone's going to take that a little differently than what you thought it was. That's right, Melissa. Absolutely.
Next one, sir. And this will absolutely destroy your yard. I don't care how big or how small a yard or a neighborhood or even the people in the neighborhood. They can be dangerous too.
That's festival dinner right there.
Well,
yes, sir.
So you got to be careful with wild hogs because sometimes they eat stuff. Someone, I think, I'm trying to remember who it was in the chat a few months ago, mentioned this about hogs. A lot of times, hogs will eat anything.
They eat anything.
And including pest control, including a number of other things that folks do. So whenever if you were cleaning a wild hog, vet the meat. I actually won't even mess with hog meat if it's wild hog meat. It often has stuff in there that is poisonous and toxic to you as the human.
You're talking about a man who did all this hog hunting.
Well, it depends on where you're hunting them.
That's 100%.
That is the thing. You have to pay attention to where you're hunting them and the surrounding land. And a lot of times, if it's just neighborhoods, chances are there's a lot of pesticides that are used and running off, and they're down in the water and all that kind of stuff. But usually where I hunt, it's out in the country, and you don't run into all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like out in the middle of nowhere in the woods.
Right.
And all they're eating is acorns.
Yeah.
And carrion. I mean, so.
But they're a major issue.
Next picture, Captain, please, sir. Go ahead, Charlie.
Wild hogs are a major issue.
Yes.
Especially for farmers.
Oh, man. And they'll ruin a crop field like crazy. So, and this here is just an example of somebody's yard right here. Now, this much damage can be done by just 2 pigs in one night.
Yep.
The interesting thing about this is that looks like San Augustine, and San Augustine grass has little tubers on their roots, and that's why they like San Augustine so much. The little tubers on their roots. They root it up and they eat the roots off of San Augustine, and they will tear up a San Augustine yard, man. I've seen it.
It's
man, they'll tear them up.
Of damage if you have a big yard.
I mean, they'll ruin a yard, just completely ruin a whole San Augustine yard in one night. Boom. Next one, sir. And one of the worst things to have in your yard or in your neighborhood is jihadis. Okay?
So now, this is not to say that we're dehumanizing jihadis, but we are putting them on the lower level.
I'm going to tell you, out of all those that I listed, jihadis is probably one of the worst things to have in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Michael Knowles asked this question this week.
Yes.
And I think it was a good question. He goes, if we're supposed to be fighting these wars abroad so that we don't have issues with Muslim terrorists here, why did we just have 5 terror attacks on American soil and barely anyone's talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And why are we abroad? So I do think that is a borderline fatalistic / it's easier to smell a rotten egg than it is to lay a good one. However, I will agree, we need to fix that, and we need to get those pigs off of our lawn.
I agree.
You mean those weren't just 2 boys who took a trip into the city and could have had a nice day?
Pennsylvanian boys.
They were just popping firecrackers.
They're Pennsylvanian boys.
That's shameful.
From Pennsylvania in a rich neighborhood.
Yeah, shameful.
With parents that got lots of money that they've collected from the government.
How did they become so rich? How did they become so affluent?
From the government.
Right. So, different kind of pest. I like how you kind of hooked that one on the political.
Not being politically correct, are you, Steve?
But
I am not politically correct, you bet.
We noticed.
And one of the things in your neighborhood you don't want to have are jihadis.
This is from AOC. Bacon.
Man.
Bacon is a great jihadi repellent. Actually,
You're so bad.
I actually have some friends that I grew up knowing. They're in Israel, and they were on the West Bank, and the Islamists were getting ready to attack their village. But they said we're gonna do it at this time, and we're going to slaughter you. So what the Israelis did is they took their bullets, they cooked up a bunch of bacon, a bunch of pig grease, and they dipped all of their bullets in bacon grease and loaded them in their magazines.
I love it.
Hey guys, this is what we're doing, and they called off the moment because technically there's an argument in the Islamic theology. If you die while being defiled, you cannot go to heaven. So I don't understand why we don't coat all of our munitions.
I agree.
In grease. I think that's a simple thing. It's gonna, even if it costs an extra cent per round. I don't know why we don't do that and then say if it meant we didn't have to shoot. I mean, to me, that's actually a really good thing, right? Like we just say, hey, certified bacon rounds.
You know what?
Load it up. Guys, call it off. Call off the war. These are certified bacon rounds. One shot straight to hell. You don't want any of this. Just don't fight us.
What are you laughing at, Charlie?
I tell you, he's a thinker.
It's like these are bacon grease hollow points. Okay, instead of a plastic plug, we have bacon grease in there. You don't want any of this. Go home, jihadi, go home. I'm loaded with bacon ready ordnance. Someone please steal my idea. Someone at CENTCOM, get this to someone at CENTCOM. We gotta have bacon covered munitions. All right?
I agree.
So that maybe we don't have to shoot any of these people, right? Like if they all just go home and say, no, I don't want I don't want one shot to hell. Lynn's new definition to shot to hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
I'd be all for that, like if we could just win the war without killing anyone.
Yeah, Yeah.
What are you laughing at, Charlie? Charlie is just
actually,
cracking up
I'd be
over
all
here.
for that. Right?
What are you laughing at?
You guys' ideas. I'm telling you.
Some mullah would come out and say, "Oh, we have we have a special dispensation from Allah. This is no longer consequential."
Yeah,
it's what would happen. But I can wish for the bacon munitions. Okay, final
Tactical
thoughts.
bacon.
I actually I didn't share this earlier, but today I heard that the new propaganda that Iran leaders are sending out is that they have killed Netanyahu.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And they have destroyed Tehran. So that's their propaganda, and it's because they're very desperate. They've got they don't have any power to do anything, so they have to let the people think that they're still in control.
Well, and that's the thing. It's what lends very well to what our Secretary of War said. He said, "Why do you not have an address from anything other than a cardboard cutout?"
Yes.
He says the regime's on its back foot.
Yes.
We don't really know who's actually running. In fact, Tehran may not know who's.
I was going to say maybe nobody is.
That they're kind of in a free fall. So what I'm hoping and praying for, I think we should pray for, is a cessation and a peace to sue, one that is going to relinquish.
Do you think that the
official material,
the Iranian prince, the Shah's son, will come in and make a peaceable, or do you think the people will reject him, or how do you think the people will?
There's a lot of pro Prince sentiment. There's a lot of people who are pro. The problem is with anything like this is why those who are skeptical of the war in Iran are correct. Regime change is going to be
It's the
very
hardest
hard.
thing to do.
It is going to be something that has to be done from the grassroots. They have to do it if it's going to stick. We can try to do regime change. We've seen how that works.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. So we're hoping that there's a groundswell. That's why Trump is not in a hurry to install the prince. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
He's been in a hurry for cessation. He wants the Ayatollahs to put someone in, but this guy is apparently half blown up, as best as we can tell, for all we know.
Well, they think he might be dead.
They think he might be dead. So don't know. It's a sad thing. But yeah, totally agree. Steve,
it's been fun.
I think we need to have a national meal. Like it needs to be
Wild hog?
like a bacon sandwich with a side of bacon and a bacon pie.
Now you are talking, dude.
See?
That's a meal.
Who's doing all the cooking? No, I'm kidding.
It's the last meal.
That would be our national meal. A bacon sandwich with a side of bacon and a bacon pie.
I'm feeling that.
You know what I mean?
Do we have any?
And that way we don't have jihadis in our neighborhood.
Do we have any dipping sauce with this meal?
Bacon dip.
Mr. Producer. Final thoughts.
I
With a
like
bacon soda.
going over how Christianity is not a pacifist religion, because like when I was younger, I was taught the 10 Commandments, do not murder and all that. So I was like, oh yeah. When I was little, I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like, don't fight. That's bad. But, getting older, really studying the Bible and reading like Ezekiel and like a lot of the Old Testament where these people are commanded to go to war and wipe out these people.
There's a time for it.
There's a time for it. You don't want that. It's a last resort, but there is a time for it. So I encourage everyone out there, really read your Bible and don't just read like the famous safe bits. Read the whole thing. It's all in there for a reason.
Yes, it is.
Like,
even the difficult parts.
I've talked to you about this before, John Arthur. I'm like, when was the last time you heard a sermon on Ezekiel or like Obadiah or like
the harder stuff?
Yeah,
exactly.
The
you rarely
prophets
do.
who are demanding repentance.
And Obadiah is a great one that you mentioned. That is
Nehemiah.
And Nehemiah. And Obadiah.
Yeah, Ezra and Nehemiah.
Yeah, both of them.
A lot of the minor
Nehemiah.
prophets. A lot
I
of
love
minor prophets.
Nehemiah.
Read them with the context that they're in, and you'll understand. You'll be able to appreciate why they're so important.
Yes.
Charlie,
Would agree.
Final thoughts.
I just really appreciate our listeners and our watchers, and this show has been fun. It's been educational. We've talked about a lot of really interesting stuff, and our desire is just to impact people, to get them to think. and not just necessarily accept what you're told, and back it up with fact, back it up with Bible.
100%. So hopefully this has been thought-provoking. Just make sure that when you're talking with people, you understand you're ready to give a defense for the hope in which you believe. Apologia, apologetics. We're not apologizing. We are giving a proper defense. Hopefully you were better prepared for an understanding of how America came to be through Nikki Knows Facts. And of course, also, Christianity is not a pacifist religion. Violence is amoral. It can be moral to save or immoral to harm the innocent. The question is what are you doing? So, with that said, we love you so much. Enjoy your bacon. Have a wonderful week.